It's time once again for exciting college football. And the football fans in Clemson, South Carolina are in force at Memorial Stadium. This stadium has been expanded 15,000 seats to 74,000, and it's a virtual sellout for the season. Clemson coach Danny Ford has carried on a tremendous winning tradition here, but his season presents some unique problems. Clemson is on probation and will not be eligible for the ACC title. And their immediate problem this afternoon, Western Carolina. Raycom Sports presents Clemson Tiger football. Today, it's the Clemson Tigers against the Western Carolina Catamounts from Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. This Raycom Sports exclusive is brought to you by your local Burger King restaurant, where you can get delicious flame-broiled burgers fixed your way. Aren't you hungry for a Burger King now? And by Miller Lite, everything you wanted in a beer and less. Hello, everybody, and welcome to what's commonly referred to as Death Valley, Western Carolina, hosted by Clemson. It has been raining all yesterday and all night long, and we expect drizzle throughout today's football game. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Ekman, and working with me is Kevin Kiley, former linebacker at Wyoming and the pros. And, Kevin, this rain should present some interesting obstacles.
Well, rain tends to be an equalizer, Art, and it has been raining quite heavily. It makes the footing a little tentative, and we can expect the game to be just a little bit closer because of it.
Well, the option play is an important part of that Tiger attack.
That's right. Clemson runs that I offense with the option, and it could make it pretty tough on them. They had a lot of turnovers last year. The same thing could happen today.
What about motivation now? They cannot go for an ACC title.
Well, there's 75,000 professional motivators here today, all dressed in orange. That should not really be a problem. And football is a game played between the lines anyway. They've had a lot of time to get used to the idea of the probation. When they get inside the lines and get a chance to hit somebody besides their own, motivation should not be a problem.
Bob Waters at Western Carolina is known as being an offensive strategist now. How do you think they'll apply their talents toward the Clemson Tiger defense? A powerful one.
Should be tested completely today, I think. Bob Waters and the offense. The offensive line has got to do a lot of different things to try to confuse the Clemson defensive line. The best in the nation going in. They will. They'll try and throw short. They need to get points on the board, no question about it. They'll have to do it by trickery. They won't overpower Clemson.
Okay, you can hear the crowd is ready, and we're ready too for lots of excitement. We'll be right back with the kickoff of Western Carolina versus Clemson right after this. Okay, we're set. As Donald Igwe is set to kick off for the Clemson Tigers. Eric Rashid is deep. He's standing right on the end zone line. Igwe, 5'9", 172-pound junior, is known for his deep kickoffs, but this one goes short. Western Carolina letting it go out of bounds, and we'll have another kickoff to start this game.
Clemson player there made the Western Carolina player there made an error. The up back on the kickoff tried to grab that with one hand. Had he touched it and gone out of bounds, it would have been a good kickoff, and Western Carolina would have had poor field position. You don't do that. The up back should let the ball go to the deep receiver.
Eric Rashad, the man who was ready to receive the kickoff, is from the Atlanta area. He went to Columbia High School in Decatur. Okay, we're set for the kickoff now. Donald Igwe will be kicking off. Eric Rashid is deep, standing on his own 5-yard line. And this ball game is underway. Rashid back in his own end zone. Will not run it out. It'll be 1st and 10 for Western Carolina at their own 20-yard line. Offensively now for Western Carolina. At quarterback, the untried Jeff Gilbert, the junior, 6'2", 190 pounds. And there you see his backfield. And at flanker back, Eric Rashid. Outstanding receiver. Up front, Herndon, Stevenson, Taylor, Hill, and Reagan. In motion to the near side is Kieser, and he sets up now with Rashid split to the far side out of the I formation. Handoff to Melvin Dorsey. Dorsey makes it over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Terrence Mack making the stop as we take a look at the Clemson defensive setup now. And what a powerful setup that is. Starting with Pickett on the left end, Robinson, that big William Perry in the center, Ray Brown, and Terrence Mack, who just made the tackle. Two linebackers. They're inexperienced but great potential. And the defensive backfield, which should be one of the best in Clemson history. Second down. Make it a little longer than 3 yards to go. Make it 4 yards to go for the first down. From the 26, the penalty flag goes in the air. Did they get it off in time?
That was too much time, and that will happen with an inexperienced quarterback. Jeff Gilbert has only taken 17 snaps in his career. Played in high school behind Rod Elkins of North Carolina. He's going to be a little tentative. A tough place to open up here in Death Valley with 75,000 screaming Clemson fans and the rain.
Gilbert got some great experience this spring and got the starting assignment because of it. He hit in the spring game 16 of 24 for 231 yards, and with a second down and now 9 yards to go for the first down, just outside their 20, we might see them go to the air, don't you think, Kevin?
Good possibility. Second down, however, and they know they have to run the ball against Clemson.
The pitch back. Oh, it's tough in that middle. Leonard Williams tried, and he was met very hard by the center of that defensive front. James Robinson and William Perry. Make it William Devane. Devane, number 94. And we'll see a lot of switching going on because they are too deep in that defensive front.
They've got the two great middle guards. That penalty hurt them, made it second and long. That's the situation they don't want to get in against this great defensive front of Clemson. They want that short yardage on second and third down.
Kaiser to the near side, Rashid to the far side, out of the I. Third down at their 23-yard line, a long count. Gilbert obviously checking off as he fades back. Here comes Robinson, but the penalty flag flew and the whistle blew before the charge, before the snap.
Well, it looks like another penalty for too much time on the offense for Western Carolina. They have to be tentative, and one of the problems here is they have a young offensive team, a lot of guys in this backfield. In fact, their entire backfield is new. They need to gain confidence, and this is not the way to do it. They have to get these plays off and get something rolling. Even if they don't get a first down, at least they get the play off.
Dorsey played at a tailback last year. He is now at fullback. Williams did not play last year. He had injuries and academic problems as well. So we've got the third and long yardage. Gilbert swings it over. Williams showed us good quickness. And he's bounced out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Ronald Watson, the free safety from Jefferson, Georgia. He's a junior, 5'11", 175, to push him out of bounds.
Very well conceived play on a third and long yardage. However, you saw the great pursuit of the Clemson defense. They all got over there. About 5 guys made the tackle.
An injury on the field, and that could be costly because he's a freshman to start with. Henry Walls, the linebacker from Southmont, North Carolina. Clemson really counting on these young people at linebacker. They've been famous for outstanding linebackers in the past, though, Kevin.
Interesting they would go with 2 freshmen, and I think you could determine that they probably have that great confidence in the defensive front, so they're able to go with 2 freshman linebackers. The front really dictates what kind of personnel you put behind them.
Steve Kornigge, ready to kick on, ready to punt. He's from Warsaw, North Carolina. In his last 6 games last year, he averaged 45.8 yards per punt, Kevin, and that's coming off a very poor Clemson game.
He averaged just over 20 yards against Clemson, and this could be a key to this game. Kornigge has got to be able to punt the ball out of trouble for the Catamounts.
Billy Davis is deep from Alexandria, Virginia. A low kick. See how Davis can field it. He has to fall on it at his own 34-yard line. Of the 61 punt returns last year by the Tigers, he returned 58 last season, so he's an experienced man, but maybe the weather conditions and the type of kick throwing him off there. Penalty flag, could be a late hit.
It was a late hit, and that's a tough penalty for Western Carolina. Davis covered the ball on the ground. He was down, and he was hit after the whistle. Here you're going to see it. There's no reason for that, and it's going to cost him 15 yards. Western Carolina making mistake after mistake early, and I'll be surprised if Clemson doesn't capitalize on it.
Ricky Shell, the one coming in late, a sophomore, and a 41-yard punt. The effectiveness that was gained by the action is now erased. 1st and 10, just inside the 50 for Clemson. Your quarterback, Epley. One of the very few in the nation starting both basketball and football, and the swing goes over to Flagler. A nice opening play.
Clemson does not throw the ball. They're a tailback-oriented offense. Speaking with Danny Ford last week, he said they thought they would have to throw the ball more. That's a very safe pass, and running off the I formation with the play action, you can get some yardage, as Flagler did here on the near side.
2nd down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 6, make it 4 yards to go. Cheatham, a very important right guard, comes out of the lineup limping. Fumble! And we'll have to unstack him to see if Epley recovered his own fumble on the exchange. This is what happened to Clemson last year.
We're going to see it here. Remember, this is an option offense. It's been raining, and Epley was out in the spring. Just simply misses the handoff. Western Carolina, number 99, Bernard Jones, is right there to pick it up. Mike Hennigan, the defensive coordinator for the Catamounts, made a very interesting observation during the week. He said, we don't have the type of kids that can knock the ball loose, but if they drop it, we're going to be standing around and pick it up. Came true right there.
The instincts of Clemson get the ball back. It's 3rd and 5. Epley with the ball. Flagler. You know, there was some question at the beginning of the year who might be the tailback. There was a real battle for that position. Check out the action now in the replay. Flagler, and the basketball instincts here prove very correctly for this quarterback on the option.
You can't beat speed. Flagler gets outside. Once he's outside of that contain, it's going to be very difficult to stop him without a big gain. And you see it right there. He picks up 20, 25 yards. 1st down, Clemson.
Mike Epley, who starts for the basketball team, is known as an assist man in basketball. And that certainly proved true at the football field here this afternoon. 1st down at the 25-yard line. Epley looking across the middle, and it's deflected by Dukes, Richard Dukes, a senior captain from Lakeshore High School in Atlanta. Intended for Dunn, the tight end. Checking out the Western Carolina defense now. Cooper at left end, Luther at left tackle, and Buffamore is the middle guard. Woods at right tackle. The 2 linebackers set up with Ricky Pate and Preston, and a fine defensive backfield. 2nd down at the 25. 10 yards to go for that 1st down. On the draw, that's Flagler. Not only showing quickness this time, but this time showing strength up the middle.
Huge hole for Flagler. Ran into his own player and still was able to gain about 8 yards. They cleared out the entire center of the Western Carolina defense. Buffamore in the center at middle guard for the Catamounts is a key in this game. He's considered the best defensive player on the squad. He's got to hold his ground, especially on a draw play, if the Western Carolina defense is to be successful.
Wide receiver Butler comes out of the ballgame. Sheldon Boyer comes in. On a 3rd down and 3 here in the 1st quarter, they want to talk about it. Timeout call by the Clemson Tigers. With no score on the board, we'll pause now for a word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network. Clemson at the 18-yard line. 3rd and 3. Liger once again. Oh, what a move he made. He's out of bounds after the 1st down. Forced out there by Tiger Green.
Rich Dukes had a shot at him in the backfield. They will force with their safeties. The Catamounts of Western Carolina, they're safety and defensive end oriented. Dukes had a shot at him, but Flagler's quick. And now you know why Clemson's tailback oriented. They've got tailbacks.
Richard Dukes, we mentioned he's a senior captain. He had 8 tackles from his spot last year against the Clemson Tigers, was a key from that defensive secondary. 1st and 10. Ball at the 13 for the Tigers. That's Mack. And Mack is brought down at the 10 by Dukes.
Dukes will appear when they try to run the ball, especially if they run it wide. When you force with a safety, he's a quick guy, usually a little smaller, and he can get up there. Kevin Mack, I'm surprised they went with a single back there. They were having so much success with Flagler, and he's quick. I thought trying to go outside with a fullback, I don't know about that. It didn't work. Of course, I guess it's easier sitting up here telling him after the play.
New flanker is Ray Williams, and Flagler comes back into the ball game. Out of the eye, that's Mack in front of him. Epley looking. He's got his man. Touchdown! Ray Williams.
Well, that's what play action will do for you. Play action to Flagler. That man was open, but he wasn't wide open. Pretty good defense. We're going to see it again here. This is good defense and a great pass by Epley. Watch the play action here. He'll fake the Flagler. That makes the defensive back lose just a step. Epley's left-handed. He throws this thing. This is not bad defense here. And perfect passes. Brown picks it off.
Just a beautiful throw. There's no question about it, as he had both done. And Williams down and out for the extra point. It's up, and Bob Powling's kick is good. And so with 10 minutes and 32 seconds remaining to be played here in the first quarter, it's Clemson 7, Western Carolina nothing. Tremendous selection of plays on that drive, Kevin.
Well, I said they were tailback oriented, but Dan Ford said he had to throw the ball a little bit more. They mixed it up very well in that first drive, and Epley, no jitters here as he comes out and does the job. Now watch Flagler here. This is the value of a great tailback. You fake the Flagler, he's had success. That holds the defense, and they're throwing on Tiger Green. This guy's got success, considered to be a great cornerback. Just perfect pass there to Williams as Tiger Green goes down. Good effort by him, but you can't do anything about perfect offense, and that's what it was.
Rashid, you see him there, is deep, ready to receive.
Rashid is a speed burner. He's a wide receiver. He did get loose for a couple of long patterns last year against Clemson, playing at the outside receiver position. A 42-yarder, I remember, last year. He can run. Of course, on a kickoff in the wet weather, it makes it a little tentative, as I said, and your blockers and the ball carrier have to be sure where they're going. So I don't know if he can open it up all the way on this particular play.
Igwe Buike is ready to kick off. Better known around these parts as Don. Another booming end-over-ender that goes into the end zone, and Rashid not a chance to burn up that speed as Western Carolina will take over 1st and 10 at their 20.
The extra point that Bob Pauling kicked ties his own consecutive record. He had 35 going in, 35 straight. His record was 36, and he tied it on the last extra point kick. Bob Pauling of Clemson.
Okay, after Clemson going on 8 plays, 50 yards in 2 minutes, 13 seconds for the score, Western Carolina. Their second try at offense after a mistake-filled first series of plays. Gilbert goes to the air. Kaiser on the completion, a good, short, quick action.
Quick passes, always been a good way to beat a very strong defensive line. Just take the snap. He never even took a drop. He just turned around and threw it to Kaiser, who's a very dependable receiver. Not great speed, not even a great athlete, but he'll catch the ball for you as he did there.
Terrence Mack, the Bandit, is in on the play defensively. He's 6'3", 200-pound freshman. A redshirt freshman. So it'll be second down, 3 yards to go for the first down at the 27 for Western Carolina. Kaiser in motion. Pitch back. Dorsey. And right there is Edgar Pickett, number 42. The big guy, 6'3", 230. A senior 3-year letterman.
Play was very slow developing. They pitched back to Dorsey on the wet turf. You have to question whether or not you're going to be able to get outside. Clemson has great team speed, great pursuit, and Dorsey never even got turned upfield before he got hit on that play.
A loss of 4 yards on the play. That's nothing new for Pickett. Out of 37 tackles last year, he had 10 behind the line of scrimmage. Ball at the 23-yard line, 3rd down and 7. Gilbert once again, and almost touchdown. Coming across, Watson, Ronald Watson from Jefferson, Georgia. I think he saw that end zone.
Well, I'll tell you, again, the defensive line and Perry will make you nervous. Perry had 2 or 3 guys on him that time, and he was about to get in Gilbert's face. Gilbert threw the ball, maybe didn't look, check out the field as he should have, and it was almost intercepted.
Steve Cornigge back to punt. He's on his own 9-yard line, and standing at the 35 is Billy Davis. Nice punt this time. Davis from the 32. Gets to the 43-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Clemson. We'll be back with more Clemson football after this word from Burger King. First and 10, 8:58 now remaining in the first quarter. Clemson's second series. That time, Flagler had no place to go as Campbell came in. John Campbell.
John Campbell is a backup safety. Safety, they are deep. The Catamounts have a lot of good safeties, and Campbell was right there. He's the force man, and he made the play. For those of you who don't know what force is, it's the guy that shows first on the outside. Keep the ball inside, so you turn it back into your defense.
2nd and 11. Williams to the far side, Butler to the near side. He's going for Butler, intercepted. Nicholson, Miles Nicholson. Just inside the 40-yard line, a big break for Western Carolina.
Miles Nicholson right there, number 17. You better believe he's happy. Those things turn games around. Let's see it again. This is great defense. Watch Epley's head. He turns right now, looks, and throws the same place he's looking. At that time, Nicholson's watching him. He steps in front and makes the interception. Epley kind of gave that away. You have to look off the defensive back, especially when he's a good one like Nicholson.
Excellent pressure on Epley that time, as well as he got hit just as he let go of the ball. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Fumble, and Gilbert falls on it.
No place to go on this play. Watch the middle of the Clemson defense. You have to move people if you're going to run the ball. Keep your eye on the middle guard position here.
Dorsey on the fumble.
That's Perry, and Perry, he changed the direction of the ball carrier. Clemson defender was able to come up and put the good hit on him, and that's what happens. You get fumbled.
The second man in on the play going for that football as well. 2nd down and 16. Ball resting right at the 45. Kaiser in motion. Look at that defense. Pitch back went to Leonard Williams, and it was Edgar Pickett and Jeff Wells. Wells is number 88.
Edgar Pickett could be an All-American by the end of the afternoon if they keep running that play. Now, you can see that thing develop. As soon as they take a step outside, Clemson's forcing coming up. There's no place to run out there.
Back to the 49. The series starting at the 39. And the Clemson defense, oh, so powerful. 3rd and 20. Kaiser to the near side. Rashid to the far side as Gilbert goes back. It's a big rush, shuttles the ball out. But there's no place to go. Melvin Dorsey, the fullback, had nowhere to go. Eldridge Milton from his linebacker spot, plugging up things.
All right, here you're going to see pressure now. This is pressure. 2 Clemson defenders on Gilbert, left-handed shuttle pass. I don't know if that's the play or not. I hope it isn't. And Perry's standing there, 320 pounds, a very big middle guard. Milton cleans it up. A lot of orange shirts. No place to go.
Good safety blitz on the play. Forces the punt with 4th and 23. Davis waiting back, looking up now. Is going to let it bounce. Oh, what a kick. Cornigge got the coffin corner that time, and it'll put the Clemson Tigers back at their own 4-yard line, 1st and 10.
Cornigge's a good kicker. Last year, people here probably remember him as a 20-yard kicker. He's not. He's an all-conference kicker in the Southern Conference. The kid can kick the ball and he can put it out of bounds. Give him a little confidence, and I guess this will.
The next Raycom Sports telecast of Clemson football will be next Saturday night when the Tigers face Boston College. Check your local listings for the exact telecast time and date in your area. They mark the ball at the 3-yard line. Handoff going to Stacy Driver.
Well, now you're back where you don't want to be. If Clemson was and is a tailback-oriented offense, you'll see the tailback when they're first and 10 on their own 3-yard line. Driver there probably in because he's a sure-handed ball carrier, and they don't want to fumble. It is raining, and they just want to get the ball out in good field position.
Second on the 2. A loss of a yard on the play. Right up the middle to Calvin Mack. Kevin Mack is a 6'1", 197-pound senior, a 3-year letterman. Buck Moyer making the stop, along with John Preston from the linebacker spot.
Kevin Mack's the type of ball carrier. He's not a shifty type ball carrier. He's not going to kid around with you. He's not going to try and fool you. He's going to run over you. And when you're on the goal line, you get that quick hitter, hand him the ball, let him get 3 or 4 yards.
3rd and 5 yards to go for the first down. Epley, and he hands off once again. And Stacy Driver, fumble on the play, but recovered from on the trail. Driver all the way to the 38-yard line. Looked like Mack was right behind him to scoop up the football. 1st and 10 Clemson.
Did I say Stacy Driver was a sure-handed ball carrier? Watch the ball handling by Epley here. Who's got the ball? Well, watch Western Carolina. They think Epley still got it, but it's Driver, and there's nothing but clear sailing here. Good tackle, strips the ball.
Dunn down on the ground. You see him back there.
Reaches in. That's what you do in the open field. He's already got 20.
On the 1st and 10. Over the middle, complete. And very close to another first down.
Epley with good field position can be very tough. He has a lot of poise early here for the first game of the year. He missed most of the spring with an injury. He had a knee cartilage that he injured in basketball. And the kid's coming out and doing a good job. In spite of the 1 interception, he's played very well.
Bob Waters has to be concerned right now. 1st and 10 at the 49 for Clemson. Jim Riggs, the tight end, making the catch on the last play. Driver once again, a gain of 2 just inside the 50. Clyde Simmons making the tackle.
Clyde Simmons is a backup tackle. They must be having problems at the tackle position defensively. Western Carolina bending here, but they've only given up 7 points. They are a very strong defensive team. And once they get their feet under them, you can expect them to give Clemson's offense some trouble.
Simmons replacing Kurt Woods. Jim Luther at the other tackle now. 2nd and 8. Epley just off the fingertips. Covering on the play was Miles Nicholson. And that pass intended for the tight end, K.D. Dunn.
That's good defense by Nicholson. Nicholson right out there and very close to pass interference. But good coverage is always very close to pass interference, and he did the job. Western Carolina needs to stop Clemson. And as I said, get their feet under him, get a little confidence.
Butler to the near side. Alley is the flanker back to the far side. Dunn also out in the pattern, but they go to Stacy Driver. Driver with good quickness makes a gain to the 45-yard line. Jim Luther is there to make the stop.
That ball, short pass like that, the ball's in the air a little too long. A short pass has to be a very quick pass. He kind of put Stacy Driver at a disadvantage when he looped it. The defense had time to react and hold him short of the first down.
Dale Hatcher in to do the punting. Penalty flag in the air. Kaiser was back to receive the punt, but it goes out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Make it the 23, but let's check out the yellow flag. It'll be Western Carolina from their own, on the punt by Hatcher. The penalty flag flew, and it's now 1st and 10 for Clemson at the 30.
I believe that was an offsides penalty, and the yardage gave him a first down.
Right up the middle, not much running room at all as Mack on the carry. And it was Bernard Jones making the stop. Jones, 9 tackles against Clemson last year. Outstanding defensive end. In fact, there's quite a story behind those defensive ends, Kevin.
They're roommates, and one traditionally, I'll get into it in a few minutes here. The defensive ends are roommates, and they're opposites, and we'll talk about it in just a few minutes.
2nd down, 8 to go for Clemson. Ball from the 28-yard line. Hesitated a little bit too long, intended for the tight end over the middle, done. So it'll be 3rd and 8 yards to go.
That's good coverage by Western Carolina. They had the outside receivers covered. I think Mike wanted to go outside, and he hesitated before throwing up the middle, and what he did, he threw the ball short. The defensive ends for Western Carolina are roommates. One, Cooper, is technique-oriented, and the other was more flamboyant, like to run all over the field. As they became roommates and friends, they affected each other, and they gravitated more to the middle of the road. Now they're more similar.
Okay, on the 3rd and 8, the draw play. Stacy Driver trying to get outside. Good coverage, though, and he's bounced out of bounds at the 25. Miles Nicholson leading the charge to the sideline for Western Carolina. Not good enough for the first down. And we've got Bob Pauling coming in to try the field goal.
Outside contain should be the strength of the Western Carolina defense. As I said before, their defensive ends and safeties are the strongest part of their unit. The 2 safeties are captains, co-captains on the defense.
Scott Williams, the snapper, Peretti, the holder for Pauling. From the 31, Scott to distance. It's good. 1 minute, 58 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the Tigers put more points on the board. They're leading at 10-0. Clemson taking advantage of Western Carolina mistakes here in the first quarter for a 10-0 advantage.
Western Carolina offensively has got to get something going. Penalties, misplays, poor play selection. You can't do any of those things against the Clemson Tigers. This is a nationally ranked team as of, well, last year and the year before, of course, national champions 2 years ago. This is a great program, and Western Carolina coming in as the underdog. They've got to at least be clean. They've got to be crisp. They can't have these type of penalties, or they're just going to dig a hole for themselves. The hole is now 10-0. Could get a heck of a lot deeper if they don't strengthen a little bit on offense.
Igwe Buike ready to kick off for Clemson. He's the backup field goal kicker as well to Bob Pauling. In fact, he has 13 field goals and 12 goals on the soccer team.
He's the long-range kicker. Pauling has medium range. When they get in close, they like Pauling to kick it. If not, Igwe Buike. I'll get it. I've been trying to avoid saying this fella's name. He can kick it from way out, 50, 60 yards.
They call him Big Don on campus.
Yeah.
It's a high one, end over end. Rashid might want to bring this one out. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Rashid's got the opening he needed. 25-30 into the 35, 36-yard line. He's met there by number 24. It's Billy Davis.
Rashid can run with the ball, no question about that. He hurdled over the wedge here. We're going to see it. He'll take it in the end zone. This is the best offensive plays so far if you don't think the kicking game is important. Now watch him. He takes a little jump there, and he's in the open. If the ground isn't wet, he might have gone there. Good contained by Clemson, but they still give up about a 39-yard return.
There's Rashid. He split far to the side, the far side, and Kaiser to the near side. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Gilbert back to pass. Goes for Rashid, but very well defensed. And the pass too short. It's a good thing it was short. Good coverage.
That was good coverage. And Gilbert having a little problem here early in the game. Remember, this kid's only taken 17 snaps in his entire varsity career. He's a junior. He has to be nervous, although there comes a point where you're not nervous anymore, especially if you've had some bad luck.
Childers, a 2-year letterman, senior, was covering on the play. Fine, strong safety. In fact, last year he returned a fumble against Western Carolina, 83 yards. It popped into his hands, and he went almost the entire distance. On the 2nd and 10. Great defensive pressure that time by Jim Scott from Alexandria, Virginia.
Jim Scott went to Mount Vernon High School in Alexandria, Virginia, a local football power up there, and he's played extremely well. He's the most improved defensive lineman for the Clemson Tigers. In fact, there's the Tiger right there. It doesn't need the sunglasses today. It's a little overcast.
I hope that suit's waterproof. Although the rain has stopped momentarily this afternoon. Clemson 10-0. 3rd and 10 now for Western Carolina. We're at the 36-yard line. Make it the 37 officially. Gilbert, quick drop. Oh, boy. 6'5", James Robinson from Charleston, South Carolina. Went to St. John's High School. He comes off after batting the ball. Tough to throw over anyone on that lineup.
Robinson did exactly what you're supposed to do defensively. He's rushing from the outside. He had outside responsibility. As soon as that quarterback throws up his arms, you do the same. Bat the ball down. That was very close to being a lateral.
Carnegie is back to punt. He's standing on the 22-yard line, and Davis once again deep to receive. Davis just inside his own 25. Nice high floating kick. Davis will take it at the 20-yard line. Stutter steps. Good coverage. He has nowhere to go. In on the stop was Ricky Shell. And with the score, Clemson 10, Western Carolina nothing. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network. Second quarter now 10-0. Clemson over Western Carolina. The officials now measuring it off. There you see Flagler, number 33, and Peretti, the quarterback, 17. Flagler now has carried 5 times for 59 yards, Kevin.
He's been, I should say, extraordinary in the first quarter. He's not supposed to be able to do that against this defense. Western Carolina's strength is their defense, but he has done it.
2nd and 7 from the 43-yard line. There's Flagler. Tiger Green once again making the saving stop.
One of the strengths for the I formation is you can cut back. Clemson doing this brilliantly. Watch the center. He fakes. It's kind of a draw play here. Look at how Flagler cuts back. There's a gaping hole in here. The linebacker has come up. He's out of the play, and now it's just a chase. And Flagler is off and running in the open field. Tackle made from behind by Nicholson. Then Tiger Green drags him down. Western Carolina has got to do better than that.
Green taking most of the punishment on that play is escorted off the field, shaken up a bit, walking off under his own power, however.
You hear a lot about Mike Epley, but the Clemson coaches have a tremendous amount of respect for this kid Peretti.
There was some question who might start. Right. Danny Ford going with Epley, a junior leader, and but he wants to get a definite look. Right now, leading 10-0 with 14:45 remaining here in the second quarter of this young Anthony Peretti. 1st and 10 at the 14. The up man takes it to the 5. Williams, Braxton Williams. Steve Marshall to make the tackle.
Well, we're talking power football here. Across the front line, Clemson 250, 240, 250, 275, 240, and 215. Defensively, well, I can only tell you that Western Carolina is not nearly that big. This is power football. When you get Kevin Mack running behind that line, it takes everybody that the Catamounts have to stop him.
2nd and a yard. Flagler tries to go up the middle. He's met there by Jim Luther. John Preston, the linebacker, also in on the play. Luther's a big guy, 6'2", 238. Had 55 tackles last season for Western Carolina.
Carolina now in their goal line defense, and it makes it a lot easier for a defensive player. Your responsibilities are cut way down. The linemen get down in a 4-point stance, and their responsibility is to pile it up. Your linebackers just come. Your safeties are looking run first. I wouldn't be surprised maybe to see a little bit play action here.
No gain on the last play. Flagler this time dives for the first down. Very nice submerged block by Joe Ellis, number 64. Flagler now with 91 yards of rushing, handling the ball only 8 times.
Yeah. You notice how along the front line you had a pile of people. That's actually good goal line defense. The linebacker's responsibility is to catch that guy in the air before he gets over the line. They didn't do it on that play.
First down. And a little over 2 yards to go for the touchdown, and Anthony Peretti wants to talk things over with Coach Danny Ford. Kevin, what would he go over there to talk to the offensive coordinator about?
Well, it's the first game. Peretti, although we talked about him being number 1, he's the backup. You don't want to make a mistake. It's 10-0. There's no reason not to use the timeout. You get more in the second half. It's good. I tell you, it shows a lot of composure, maturity on the quarterback's part to call timeout. A lot of kids are scared to do it. They'll go back and they'll try the play even though there's some indecision. You're down at the goal line. You want to get a score. This could make it 17-0. So he goes over, make sure of the play. Danny Ford, the offense coordinator, maybe call upstairs, talk about their goal line defense a little bit, see what are they doing on the goal line, what'll work, what won't work. Then you go back in the huddle and try to get it in.
Danny Ford takes pride in having 2 deeps at most every position. We're seeing right now the quarterback spot. A lot of maturity.
But you asked me what Bob Waters is telling the defense. That would be a very short conversation.
That's why I didn't ask you.
They have one option, and that's to stop him.
Looks like he did a little defending himself there with the arm all wrapped up. 12 minutes, 59 seconds remaining here before halftime, and it's Clemson 10-0 over Western Carolina. The Clemson Orange in the stands. Flagler, your tailback. There's Peretti. He's got it all the way.
Well, that's a naked reverse. When you're running the ball up the middle the way Clemson is and you're having such great success, a naked reverse has got about a 99% rate of success. Watch this. A fake in there. Everybody's coming. They have to try and stop him up the middle, and Peretti could have stopped for lunch.
They had Ray Williams in motion to the opposite side. They got the guys moving that way, and Peretti goes in for 6 points. He just wants to be careful not to trip over the goal line.
That's right. He's laughing. Big smile all the way in.
16-0 Clemson right now. The kick is up, and the kick is... Wait a minute. We got a flag in the play. Bob Pauling's kick is good. So the score, with 12:54 remaining in the second quarter, Clemson 17, Western Carolina nothing. We'll be back after this. The question is, how far will Igwe Buike kick it into the stands, as a 15-yard penalty for illegal participation has put the ball on the 45-yard line. He's going to put it between the uprights. A little practice. First and 10, Western from the their own 20-yard line now, as they try to dig out of a hole here in the first half.
I suppose if you asked Bob Waters before this game, what would be the worst thing that could happen? I think the first series, 2 penalties, losing yardage, being down 17-0. He might have described the action almost to a T to this point in the game.
Jeff Gilbert, your quarterback for Western, trying to get them back into the ball game. Nice connection at the 25. Rashid and Keith Williams out of that linebacker spot, number 57, to make the tackle.
Rashid just did a little hook pattern in front of the defense, and Gilbert found him. And I believe that's Gilbert's second completion of the game, and that's got to help him a little bit. Underneath, little hook pattern.
Second down, 3 yards to go at the 27. Dorsey, the fullback. Leonard Williams, the tailback, as they go to the split back. That's Dorsey. No running room. James Robinson right there for the grab.
34, Bill Dorsey. Brought down by James Robinson.
Robinson was eagle down on the center at an angle. That means he was on the left side of the center. As you look from the back of the defense, he was eagle down through the center, out of the way literally, and caught Dorsey from behind.
So it's 3rd and 3. Third down conversions right now. Clemson 4 out of 6. Western Carolina looking for their first down. And the rush is on. He had to unload. Receiver had his back to the ball even. Got to be ready for that. You've got to have somewhere to go with it on a quick play.
Well, everybody's coming for Clemson. They're winning by 17 points. And Tom Harper, the defensive coordinator, told us, if we get you down, we're coming. And they really didn't discuss that all that well. It seemed like the receiver should have picked it up. Gilbert picked it up all right. The receiver didn't.
Carnegie back in. He's getting lots of punting practice. Billy Davis, you see him there. Billy Davis is deep. Robinson and Devane, the big rushers in the last one. They went for the block, and he got a low bouncer away that Davis has to let it roll now back inside the 30-yard line. With the score, Clemson 17-0 over Western Carolina. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network. 1st and 10 now from the 29. Mike Epley back in at quarterback. Hands to the front man, Mack. And he's stopped by Boufmoriard.
Well, that type of defense Western Carolina needs to play. Boufmoriard is a good football player, and I hate to fault him. All he can do is hold up the line of scrimmage a little bit, and the linebackers and safeties have to come in and fill. That's not been the case early in this game. Big gaping holes for Clemson.
For a nose man, he had an incredible number of tackles. 70 tackles last year. Epley dishes it off. Flagler close to the first down, didn't quite get it, as Richard Dukes came in nice and low on the play.
Epley on that play, now he's the option man, okay? He takes the ball down the line. He has to read the defense. Epley had gained 2 yards before he had to pitch the ball. That should never happen against an option offense. The defense has to stop the quarterback at the line of scrimmage or behind it. You have to force him to pitch the ball or you have no defense.
9 rushes for 96 yards for Flagler. What a first half for him.
Go to check, see if Terrence has got wings.
3rd down, 1 yard to go for the first down. Ball resting at the 38-yard line. Flagler looked to cut inside and chose to go outside. Steve Marshall to make the tackle. Marshall's one of the best free safeties in the Southern Conference. He had 59 tackles last year and 4 interceptions. He missed the spring with a knee operation. They're just hoping that he can spring back. Clemson dominating the first half. Mistakes by Western Carolina, and Clemson's ability to handle their tailback and make good yardage. That's Flagler. Vicious block at the 45-yard line. Was dished out by James Farr, number 60.
Watch the defense on this. You need a triangle around the back. A man outside, a man on his head, and a man inside defensively. Let's see if Western Carolina does that. Flagler catches the ball. We have 2 men. Good block. Nobody outside. Flagler picks the right spot. He goes outside and gets the big yardage. You have to surround the ball carrier. They did not do that.
Tiger Green with another tackle. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line now for Clemson. They hit Mack up front once again, the up man, and Ricky Pate that time to make the tackle. James Farr, though, the gentleman that pulled out to make that block on the big gain, 6'4", 240. That's moving for that kind of size.
6'4", 240 will hurt you.
He's from Thompson, Georgia. Honorable mention All-American in the football news.
Seems like they run Kevin Mack just to give Flagler a rest.
2nd down and 8 yards to go. Alley to the far side and Butler to the near side. Epley, hands on the draw to Flagler. He got caught from behind that time.
Play very slow and developing, and of course the defensive ends, as I said, strong. Bernard Jones had passed the play. He had to contain. When he saw him hand it off, he was able to catch him as he cut outside.
Jones very, very aggressive in getting across that line of scrimmage.
We talked about the 2 of them. Bernard Jones likes to run, and he'll chase you all over the field to get you. And that's great, except sometimes if they reverse or they cut back, Bernard could be running in the wrong direction.
Last year he had 7 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 10 at the 44 for Clemson. Epley, the left-hander back. He's got his man in the open. Bounced hard at the 29-yard line. Pat Charleston in the ball game at a wide receiver. He's a freshman.
Charleston.
Hey, we're going to see Tiger Green laying off here. After you've been burned a few times, defense can get pretty tough. Watch Epley now. He's got the same back coming out here, number 21, that's Driver. Man is up guarding him. That leaves the underneath zone open, and there's the receiver wide open. Green just sitting back a little too far.
One-on-one on the youngster. Flagler caught behind the line of scrimmage by Tiger Green. He was charging that time.
That's great defense. That is exactly the way the option defense is supposed to work. They challenge Epley at the line of scrimmage, make him pitch it right away, gives it an easy read to the cornerback. He recognizes, comes up, makes the play. Of course, when it works, it's easy.
He dropped him for a 3-yard loss. 2nd and 13 at the 31. Mack and Flagler, your backs in the I formation. Flagler. Once again, the man gets off a block by James Farr that time.
Tackled by Kurt
Kurt Woods shedding the block, the one-on-one block, nicely.
Well,
Flagler would have had some running room if he could have gotten by that one man.
It almost looked as if he had the running room, and he got a little mixed up and ran into the tackler. And as a defensive player, it's always a bonus when somebody runs into you, and you just grab him and pull him down.
3rd and 11. At the 28. Epley having trouble. Good coverage by Western Carolina. Completed to Jim Riggs.
Well, that's just great offensive ability, great athletic ability by Mike Epley. He got no pressure from the offside. Watch. He'll get pressure from the backside, but he's left-handed. Don't let him run that way, because you're going to find an open receiver. Here comes Epley, and a perfect pass.
The pass going to Kendall Alley, a new wide receiver in the ballgame.
Can't expect your defense to cover that long.
First down, 9 yards to go for the score. Straight up the middle goes Mack.
Well, we're in goal line situation again, and the goal line defense again is different, makes it more difficult to run up inside. Clemson's going to try it anyway, but you got a lot of people in there.
Rycroft with the tackle.
Watch, if you will, when the ball is snapped, if it's a running play at home, watch how the players pile up at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they do it.
2nd down and 6. Clemson already with a 17-0 lead. Flagler chose to cut inside that time. Might not have been the best decision.
Okay, there is a hole here. There is a hole on the right, and remember, it is goal line defense. You're not going to find too much inside, and you don't want to go outside, you lose yardage. Here's Flagler. A little difficult to see, but you can see him piling up. See him piled up there on the bottom right of your screen? Very difficult to run inside, but you only need a few yards. So maybe he gets lucky and breaks in the open for a yard or two, and he's in the end zone.
Rycroft, a new linebacker, his 2nd straight stop as he came up nicely on the goal line stand you mentioned before. Linebacker taking a touchdown. Done. Epley fading to his right, throwing back to the tight end coming over.
Can't let a kid roll out like that. Every coach, every offensive coach would love to be able to roll out on the goal line. You've got to contain a quarterback, especially a guy like Epley who has that ability. As soon as he gets outside, the defense goes crazy. Who do I guard? What do I do? In that case, they left the man open. It was a touchdown.
So Pauling, who has already set a school record in this ball game for extra points, consecutive extra points, 34 for 34, goes for number 35, and it's up, and it's good. So Clemson now, I expect to see a lot of young players in the ball game as they lead at 24-0. Let's check out the replay.
Watch Epley now. There they go. This is a planned play, a little play action, even runs into Flagler. Should never get outside like that. The defense doesn't know whether to come up or stay back. Some of them come up, and they should have stayed back.
We'll be back with more Clemson football after this word from Burger King. Boy Buike is set to kick off. This time from his own 40-yard line. It doesn't really matter. Going all the way back and just watching it float out of the end zone was Rashid. So with 5 minutes and 26 seconds remaining to be played before halftime and trailing 24-0, Western Carolina has to reach back. Now, we were talking earlier, Kevin, about the effects of this first ball game on Western Carolina with a Southern Conference schedule, very competitive team within their season schedule.
Yeah, we'll get into that, and that has a great effect on this game, or at least how they come out of this game.
Jeff Gilbert, your quarterback, desperately trying to get some points on the board before halftime. Intercepted, though. Reaching into the air is Williams. Williams, 6'4", 220. Once again comes up with a football.
Gilbert awful slow on that. There's a penalty flag down. Haven't seen a preliminary signal. It's a good interception.
Might be holding in that position out there. It's declined by Clemson. They want the football.
Watch
and here's
Gilbert.
the play.
Very slow. Watch his motion. Throws it a little high. And, hey, they're all there. Everybody's there. You have the safety and the two linebackers sitting there. He had two widebacks on that play that seemed to be open. He never looked outside, but that's a young quarterback, and he will gain experience as he goes along.
Peretti now in at quarterback after Epley's pass to Dunn put more points on the board in the last exchange. At the 24, 1st and 10. Peretti rifles the ball, and he couldn't quite trap it. Intended for Riggs.
Anthony Peretti's pass intended for Jim Riggs.
That's pretty good defense by Western Carolina. And
Marshall broke the play up. Excuse me, Kevin.
And a very tough pass to throw. Peretti coming in off the bench for Epley and opening up with a play like that can be difficult.
Penalty flag now, and it looks like Western Carolina once again giving the good luck in the breaks to Clemson.
I've been in a lot of these on the wrong end, and you don't need that. A penalty after you broke up a pass play after you're down 24-0 will not bring smiles to anybody's faces on the visitors' side here.
10-yard penalty against the Catamount.
So half the distance. And Clemson at the 13 with a 1st and 10. Boyer split to the near side, but it goes up the middle. Braxton Williams on the carry.
I'll tell you what, you ask what is the benefit of a game like this. I think if you asked Anthony Peretti after that play, Peretti handed the ball off, and Bernard Jones from the defensive end position leveled him. And I mean, I heard it up here. He hit him helmet to helmet, and I think that's what we're going to find here. Guys are going to be teeing off here and trying to break something loose.
2nd and 5. Rycroft from that linebacker spot, popping a runner on the last play. Handoff goes to Williams once again.
Braxton Williams on the carry.
Doesn't look good enough for the 1st down as he gets to the 5-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and about 2 to go.
It's interesting how teams become predictable. Clemson, when they get inside the 10-yard line, run their fullback. They like to run their fullback, and they run him, I'd say, twice as much as they do in the open field.
From the 5. Stacy Driver, he's got the 1st down. Driver taking it down to the 3-yard line. Once again, Marshall, and helped out by Richard Dukes.
Stacy Driver, 5'8", 175 pounds, and he delivered a blow going into the line that knocked the defensive player on his back. He went down with him. But 5'8", 175 pounds, that's water polo there.
He's tough. He's tough. Very, very tough. Played at Griffin, Georgia. They'd have an outstanding football program at Griffin, Georgia. Driver again. Just bursts his way through the pile. Penalty flag down.
Very low to the ground. I guess 5'8", that would be the advantage of being 5'8". You're low to the ground, but 175 pounds, not a big kid.
And he's only a sophomore. It looks like we might have a hold, though, on the play. 3 minutes and 38 seconds before halftime. Western Carolina would certainly like to keep them out of the end zone, that's for sure, as they trail 24-0.
From a coaching standpoint, you're probably wondering, what would Dan Ford say to his team going in the locker room winning 24-0 or maybe more than that? What would he say? Well, I guarantee he's going to devote about 5 minutes to this holding penalty, driving in. Why are you holding 1st down on the 6'3", 2-yard line? And he's going to talk to somebody about that.
Driver once again. Play was a little slow in developing, as you would say.
Yes, and the tailback was very deep. He lined up very deep on that play. And one way you can read a draw is the tailback, if it's a pass, he'll flare because he'll want to get away from the quarterback to block. If he's going to be a draw play, he'll sit next to the quarterback and a little bit behind him so he can take that ball. And obviously the Catamounts read that, and they were able to stop it.
Second down. 9 yards to go to the end zone. Simmons made the stop on the last play. Peretti back to throw. Goes to Driver. And they draw a big crowd over there.
Peretti's pass complete to Driver.
But Moyer made the tackle. Lots of congestion. There was only really one pulling guard. That was Steve Reese on the far side, a sophomore. And Driver just couldn't get the protection he needed.
Well, it's a tough play. In this close, there's not that much field to work with, and the defense is bunched up. It's a tough play to pull off in a goal line situation.
3rd and 13 now for the Tigers. Freddie going for his tight end Dunn. Just off the mark.
Freddie's pass intended for J.D. Dunn.
Igwe Buike comes into the lineup.
Interesting about penalties here. Now, remember we talked about that penalty. The crowd's going crazy. Clemson is driving. They get that holding penalty right on the goal line. Very unnecessary penalty. The next 3 plays are incomplete. The crowd quiets, and they have to go to a field goal. If you ever wonder about the damage that penalties can do to your team, this is a perfect example. Now, they're probably not going to lose this game, but you better believe that they're going to talk about that penalty when they see it on film.
Igwe Buike. And he puts it up out of the hold of Peretti and puts 3 more points on the board. 2 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. Now, Western Carolina, when they get that football back, they feel probably beaten right now, but it's got to be doubly tough with just 2 minutes to go before halftime to try to get on the board. Next week, the next Raycom Sports telecast of Clemson football will be next Saturday night when the Tigers face Boston College. Check your local listings for the exact telecast time and date in your area.
South Carolina, please report to Gate 5.
Well, Western Carolina, as you say, is in the Southern Conference. It never hurts you to get in there with a guy who's bigger than you. They have to play next week anyway. If Clemson gets 80 points, it's 1 loss. And that's the way you look. You have to look at it. It's only 1 loss, and it'll make you a better player. You play against William Perry, William Devane, a guy like Epley, the great receivers, the national class defense. And a couple hours after the game, you sit down and you say to yourself, well, I should have done this, or I could have done this, or I see the way he did that. Maybe I could do it that way. Maybe we could be a better team. It won't hurt you to get in here with a team like this. And a lot of times getting beat by 30, 40 points gives you a chance to step back and look at yourself because you're not involved in that close.
That brings up another point, too. How would you like to be in practice against Perry and Devane every day in preseason drills? I should think the offensive line of Clemson is feeling very, very nice right now.
Saying how would I like to? I wouldn't.
Igwe Buike puts it out of the end zone. And so Western Carolina will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line, trailing 27-0.
Very disappointing, I think, for the Western Carolina people. Speaking with the coaches earlier in the week, they felt very good about coming in here. They thought they had a shot. They knew they'd have to get some breaks. I think that offensively, the complete breakdown offensively has got to be a major disappointment.
Gilbert, the junior quarterback, has had a real tough day of it. Fades back, gets pressure from Perry, and completes it. A nice completion this time to Leonard Williams. Williams from Greensboro, North Carolina. A strong and fast athlete. He missed all but the last 2 games with a knee last year. Eldridge made the tackle on him, and it is now 2nd and 7. Gets it away to Rashid. Rashid losing his footing. On the 2nd and 7 play, McSwain, who's an outstanding athlete, making the tackle in the play. He was in the offensive side of things last year, was an exciting offensive player.
Going with no huddle now.
So the 2-minute offense in effect. 3rd and 3 for Western Carolina, 1:16 on the clock. Kaiser, did he make the catch? Yes, they said he did. First down at midfield.
Christy Kaiser is a captain on this team, and he's a wide receiver that catches with his body. You're not supposed to do that. Everybody teaches to catch with your hands. He does it with his body. Got his body across the field and down pretty low to get that one.
At the 47, first and 10 for Western Carolina. Back shifting into the eye. Gilbert's got his man, Rashid. Complete at the 40-yard line. Oh, what a hit. McSwain once again. 47 seconds remaining. First down, we've got a timeout.
14 on the play. Western Carolina.
Western Carolina wanting to stop the clock, wanting to penetrate that end zone before the half is up.
Well, this series right here is very imaginative. A lot of these plays, I think, were called in advance, and they've run some different types of plays. Of course, Clemson defense is a little different. Rashid, on that play, again, they also teach you to not catch with your body, but they teach you not to jump in the air. But Rashid is not a real big kid. You know, he's under 6 foot, and he had to jump for that pass.
Okay, Western Carolina from the 39-yard line of Clemson, their deepest penetration of the day. Gilbert with the split backs. Incomplete, intended for Leonard Williams.
Two receivers within 3 yards of each other on the far side. Hopefully that's a mix-up. It's got to be a mix-up. You don't want to bring the defense. The reason for that, if you're wondering at home, he's not there to block. You don't bring your defense over to the intended receiver. You don't want receivers bunched up because that means more defense in that area.
Mack breaking up the play, so now it's 2nd and 10 at the 39. Rashid to the near side. Kaiser split to the far side. Tight end over the middle. They're lobbing it for Kaiser. Very poor pass. Intercepted by Arrington. Vandal Arrington, a 2-year Letterman senior out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Well, I think you said it all. A very poor pass. He was well covered right up the sideline. Arrington, Vandal Arrington, standing right in front of him. Let's watch the defense. I think Gilbert gets back a little slow. Doesn't look like he runs back, and he's looking all the way. Throws the ball up, not a tight spiral, and looks like he's throwing it to Arrington. The man is covered like a blanket.
It's always nice to throw it too far, not far enough. 7 seconds on the clock. And Clemson, will they be content now to just run the clock out, go into the locker room with a 27-0 lead? That's Peretti at quarterback. Hand off to Flowers. And he's pushed out of bounds after a nice game.
Tigers are 4 deep at tailback, and you're seeing them all today. Flagler, Driver, now Flowers. All of these guys can run, and they're about equal ability. And when you're a tailback-oriented team, as Dan Ford says, you might as well have 3 or 4 tailbacks.
Ray Williams to the far side. 1st and 10 at the 42. Peretti back. Drops the ball. You'll hear about that at halftime. Bethea.
Good pass.
He's a senior out of Dillon, South Carolina.
I think the thing to look at there is the pass from Peretti. Peretti got back, set up very well, and hit the man in the chest. And of course, quarterback, extremely important position. And Epley has been a little brittle over the years, so Peretti needs to work and he needs to be good.
2nd and 10 at the 42. Peretti goes to his man out of the backfield. Oh, nice move. Quick, Rodney Quick in at fullback from Charleston, South Carolina. Two seconds on the clock. And Clemson calls a timeout.
This must be why they call this Death Valley. They get you in there, they're going to beat you to death. 27-0 with 2 seconds to go. And they're going to try a field goal. Well, this will be fun.
Igwe Buike. This would be the NCAA record, and the fans are on their feet. Peretti will do the holding.
With a 64-yard attempt. And this guy supposedly can hit from 64 yards.
I like the way he's going down at the turf and getting a little wet grass and throwing it in the air to check the wind.
He wants a dry ball, too. You know, they're lighter.
Okay. Buike trying for 64-yard field goal with 2 seconds before halftime. It would be a Clemson record. Our correction. It looks like it won't be long enough. No, it goes under the bar.
Wide,
not by much.
A little wide and a little short, but not a whole lot.
Okay, it's halftime at Death Valley with the score. Clemson 27, Western Carolina nothing. We'll be back with halftime after these words from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network. Halftime score, Clemson 27-0 over Western Carolina. And Kevin, it's a situation with the first game of the year, and down by that much. It's got to be a tough feeling for Western Carolina, but it's got to be a moment of confidence for Clemson. They take great pride in their depth.
Clemson almost in a no-win situation. They were expected to win. They were expected to win big by most people. Now it's time to polish up their act because next week is Boston College. Western Carolina has probably got a good football team. I think the confidence factor came into play very, very early in this game. They had some penalties. That first drive was terrible. I mean, it just, aside from them not gaining yards, they just did everything wrong, and against a defense like Clemson, that can really put a crimp in your plans.
With such a lead here at halftime, Kevin, too, it means you can play a lot more people, and you don't have to show Boston College as much either.
Well, right. From Clemson's point of view, they do have some depth questions, and they maybe can get them answered today. From Western Carolina's point of view, they've got a whole season to go, and you don't want players on your team that are not going to play the entire game, 60 minutes. So he's going to go in there, Bob Waters is, and tell these kids, you come out and you play football. There's 71,000 people in the stands, and I want to find out who's got character on my team. And we'll find out in the second half.
The stats are rather nebulous right now, but we could take a look at them. As you see, the big domination of Clemson, 17 first downs, 196 yards rushing. Flagler, just an outstanding performance from that tailback spot today. And there you see the yards in passing, 93. Total domination by the Clemson Tigers. Time of possession, 20 minutes, 18 seconds in the first half, compared with only 9 minutes and 42 seconds for Western Carolina. Clemson football on Raycom Sports is being brought to you by Miller High Life. Welcome to Miller Time. And by your local Burger King restaurant, where you get delicious flame-broiled burgers mixed your way. Aren't you hungry for a Burger King now?